morning.
Good morning.
Morning. I wonder when Jesus said in Matt 24:14, in this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations. In the world of Twitter, Facebook, and other social media, it is easier than ever to preach the word to all nations. Back in biblical days, it would be nearly impossible to preach the word. You would have to get on a boat or sail or walk to these other nations. Most of these nations were violent and conditions were harsh. Think of what Moses went through walking across the desert for 40 years. In Exodus, no food. Moses had to talk to God, ask him to provide food for them, which he did. When he would drop manna every day of the trip. No water, once again, had to ask God to provide water to his people, which he did. Bringing in other people who were violent. So think about walking across the world back in biblical times to preach the word to all nations would be a little difficult. Now we fast forward to today and we have the world at our fingertips, literally. With the internet, we can talk to people across the globe. Our website, grandstreetchurch.com, gets thousands of visitors a month from around the world. With our service posted online, we can do as Matt 24 says. God, who is all-knowing, would have foreseen that we would have a way to communicate to the world instantly. If you look at the verses in Matt and Mark, you can tell God that the internet could be invented and there would be a way to preach the world to all nations. Mark 16:15 says, Go into the entire world and preach the good news to all creation. This is why if you do a search for churches on the internet, you will find a ton of churches listed, including ours. Check out YouTube and see how many pastors put their services online. Check out iTunes, Stitcher, Twitter, and any other social media you can think of. This is why the Bible is still alive today. God has looked ahead to see that his children would find a way to follow his command to preach the word to all nations. But as with everything, there is a downside to preaching the word to all nations on the internet. The downside is churches are closing in record numbers. We get dressed on Sunday and drive to church when you can sit in your living room on your PC in your PJs and bunny slippers and have the word preached to you. Well, a lot of people do not realize church is not a building. Matthew 18:20 says, For wherever 2 or 3 come together in my name, there I am with them. So if you and your family gather around your computer and watch an online service like this one, by biblical definition, you are in church. The church is not the building. The church could be your PC or your iPhone or your smartphone. This is why home churches are so popular now. 2 or more gather to hear a sermon in a laid-back setting. The internet provides a ton of ways to worship. You can even worship at lunch with the internet. We can do just as Jesus commanded us to do, to preach the word to the world, and it only costs what we pay for our ISP. Jesus walked from town to town to spread the word of God. We could do that too. And I challenge you to go through your neighborhood and talk to people about God. Not to be discouraged, most people will not want to listen, but if you bring one person to Jesus, you have done a good job. And we can do it with our laptops as well. As long as we have the internet and our computers, we will always have a way to fulfill the command God gave us. Whether it's going out into the streets or going to Skid Row or going onto the web, as long as you are bringing the world to Jesus, you are fulfilling the command. So in closing, real quick today, people will always say using the internet is destroying the traditional church. Just tell them the church is not the building, but a place where 2 or more gather is the church. So as long as you worship, be it at the internet or in a traditional church, it doesn't matter. Do it so you enjoy the services in your PJs and bunny slippers. What is more important is that you worship, not where you worship. And now with our benediction, Pastor Jesse.
I believe God gave man the idea
of the internet, as Pastor Peter pointed out, to spread the word. Be it Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, or even MySpace for that matter, even though it's like going downhill. There are those who blog, tweet, and post about faith in God. It doesn't make them Bible thumpers. It's just what they love and what they want to talk about. That's how I put it. And I put it, the more to spread the word, the more it gets out. God and religion aren't hot topics to talk about, because all people do is fight about it. Oh, this religion is right, that religion's right, this is wrong, that is right. We're not the ones to sit there and say this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right. We're not the ones. He is. So, get off that little high horse. And then another thing is I put stop fighting and listen to each other. Spread faith on the internet. I hate. Spread love. I hate. Try that one.